Aliens thought humans were weak, until our operatives appeared in their command room. Commander Zexanal flexed his forearms in satisfaction as he reviewed the tactical display floating above the command console. The blue-green marble of Earth rotated slowly in the hologram, marked with red targeting vectors that would soon reduce the primitive world to cosmic dust. Such a pathetic species, he mused to his second-in-command, Officer Kethamore. No energy shields, no plasma weaponry, no faster-than-light communication. They still burn fossil fuels and wage wars with chemical explosives. Kethamore's mandibles clicked in agreement. Our initial probe data confirmed it, Commander. Their most advanced military technology is centuries behind even our civilian craft. The invasion fleet could conquer them with mining vessels. The hegemony had been expanding across the galaxy for 3 millennia, absorbing or eliminating every species they encountered. Some races fought with honor. The Crystal Warriors of Nexus Prime had held out for 2 years. Others, like the hive minds of Kepler 442b, had negotiated surrender before the first shot was fired. But none had been as laughably primitive as these humans. Begin the bombardment sequence, Zexanal commanded. Target their population centers first. We'll save the rural areas for resource extraction. The weapons officer began inputting coordinates when every screen in the command center suddenly flickered. For a moment, alien script was replaced by a simple message in perfect hegemony standard. Hello? What is this? Zexanal's voice rose an octave. Kethamore, report. I don't know, sir. All our systems are displaying the same message, but that's impossible. These humans don't even have quantum encryption. The message changed. We need to talk. Before anyone could respond, the air in the center of the command room began to shimmer. The assembled hegemony officers reached for their plasma rifles, but their weapons wouldn't activate. The shimmer intensified, and suddenly 2 figures materialized from thin air. They were human, obviously so, with their primitive bipedal forms and disgustingly soft skin. But something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The first human was a woman, unremarkable except for her piercing gray eyes. She wore simple black clothing that seemed to absorb light. Beside her stood a man, equally plain, equally dressed in that light-eating material. Good afternoon, the woman said in flawless hegemony standard, her voice carrying clearly through the command center despite the lack of translation equipment. I'm Agent Chen. This is Agent Rodriguez. We're here to discuss your aggressive intentions toward our planet. Zexanal's primary eyes bulged. Impossible. How did you... Our shields, the void of space... Oh, we've been aboard your ship for 3 weeks now, Rodriguez interjected casually. Nice vessel, by the way. The artificial gravity systems are particularly impressive. 3 weeks? Kethamore stammered. Our sensors would have detected any infiltration. Your sensors detect what we allow them to detect, Chen said with a slight smile, just as your weapons fire when we permit them to fire. As if to demonstrate, she nodded toward the weapons console. The targeting system activated on its own, rotated 90 degrees, and powered down again. You're wondering how a primitive species could possess such technology, Rodriguez observed, noting the alien's expressions. The thing is, you've made a common mistake. What mistake? Zexanal demanded, though his voice had lost its earlier confidence. You assumed that what you could observe represented the limits of our capabilities, Chen explained. Your probe scanned our public infrastructure, our civilian technology, our open military installations. You saw exactly what we wanted you to see. Rodriguez walked over to the tactical display, passing through a force field that should have incinerated him. Humans learned long ago that in a hostile universe, the greatest weapon is to be underestimated. Every species you've encountered has shown you their full power immediately. We chose a different approach. While you were analyzing our primitive rockets and chemical weapons, Chen continued, our real defensive systems were analyzing you. Your technology, your tactics, your psychology. We've been preparing for species like yours for generations. The command center's main screen activated, showing impossible images. Human ships materializing inside hegemony vessels throughout the Sol fleet. Human operatives walking through solid walls. Human agents standing in the private quarters of every ship captain and admiral. You see, Rodriguez said, humans discovered something interesting about the fundamental nature of reality itself. What you call impossible is simply undiscovered. Your civilizations advanced through conquest and absorption. Ours advanced through adaptation and innovation born from necessity. Zexnel tried to activate the ship's emergency protocols, but his commands were ignored. What do you want? Simple, Chen replied. Turn around. Leave our system. Spread the word that Earth is under human protection. And if we refuse? Rodriguez gestured toward the display, which now showed the positions of every hegemony ship in known space. Red dots appeared next to each vessel, human operatives positioned and ready. Then you'll discover what a species develops when it spends 10,000 years assuming that something bigger and stronger is coming to destroy it, he said quietly. We built our entire civilization around the principle of David versus Goliath. The difference is, we've had millennia to perfect the slingshot. For the first time in hegemony history, a conquest fleet received the order to retreat. As the alien armada jumped to hyperspace, Agent Chen turned to Agent Rodriguez. Think they'll warn others? Oh, absolutely, Rodriguez replied with a grin. By next cycle, every species in the galaxy will know not to underestimate the quiet ones. The two operatives dissolved back into the quantum foam from which they had emerged, leaving no trace they had ever been there, except for a small message burned into the command console in perfect hegemony standard. Humanity says hello.